Welcome guys. I know I haven't made a video on the personal YouTube channel in a while. Obviously I've been busy with projects in the crypto space, but this should help you understand what's happening in this world, because everyone is, I wouldn't say everyone, but majority of people, over 99% of people in this world are lost and they've been misguided. Only for less than 1% who've actually taken their own path in life and discovered truth and discovered the right path. I wouldn't say the right path, but whenever I'm speaking, you will never, or almost all the time, you will never hear me say you should be good or you should be bad. Not you should, but you need to be. That's me telling you what you need to be. I can't do that. No other being can tell you what you need to be and how to live your life. So it's all up to you. So just from birth, you instantly have two options, two paths. Either you go the light way or you go the dark way. There's always polarities in life, and there's always the yin and the yang. You can call it good, you can call it bad, you can call it evil, you can call it good, you can call it light, you can call it dark. Those are just terminologies that describes the same thing. So same thing with Jesus, God. It's just energy. It exists, and at the same time it doesn't exist. So this is another reason why people also get lost in religion as well. So from the point of your birth, then you always have had two paths where you can follow based on your parenting. Your parent should be the first guide to you. So if you've arrived in your adult years, you've arrived in a place where you don't want to be, then you have to first blame your parent for that, because they haven't raised you properly. They haven't told you what is good, what is bad, it's just a cycle, because themselves have to blame their parents have to blame their parents. Then just a cycle of just people just being lost in this journey we call life. So it's all up to you to determine which path you want to follow once you become conscious, because as a child, only the parent is responsible for you, because you don't have conscious awareness yet to understand which path is going to lead to where. So this is where you can get lost way before you become conscious based on your parenting guidance. So if your parent is not guiding you properly, then you've already lost the battle. And then it's going to be more difficult for you. I'm not saying it's impossible, because it happened to me where I've rediscovered based on my parenting. Obviously, I have to be careful what to say here, not to offend some people. Sometimes it's best not to say things because of people's programming. So obviously, as I mentioned, your parent is the first step to your guidance toward life and trying to determine which way you should go. And then once you get to your teen years, then it's all your responsibility. You shouldn't blame your parents for that, because you can become awakened. You can become conscious aware on your own, which is my personal experience. You just have to have the willpower and determination. This is what you want in your life. This is the experience you want. This is the path you want to follow. So you can either choose the light path, where there's only positive things that happens to you and you experience positive things. You call it heaven. And then there's the dark path. The dark path is all negativity, all negative events. And then after you've passed on from this physical world, you will be fit with your own frequency, which who you are, which is dark. So you will be surrounded by dark energies, dark entities. You can call them devils, spirits, bad spirits. Those exist. So you will be experiencing. The only way I can explain this to you is imagine your neighborhood, the neighborhood you're living in, right? The only reason why you're there is because you fit in that environment. If you didn't fit there, the universe will place you where you belong based on your frequency. So that's why I always say elevate your frequency, raise the frequency. If you want a better life, if you want a better life experience, it's all about frequencies. And if you want to experience a negative experience, a negative life experience, or people call it bad, then engage in negative thinking, engage in negative events, negative behaviors, and that is what your life will continue to be. So you will have to make that conscious choice whether you want to engage in negativity or positivity. What you focus on is what your reality will be. So the only question is, why have you chosen the path you have chosen? Is it because of misinformation or misguidance, or because you've become aware and you just decided to choose that path? And I've had a conversation with someone too, which showed me that people do make the choice they want to make. It doesn't matter if you present it to them as good or as bad, they will choose what they want. So I've had this conversation with someone, I think it was back in college, where I said, why are you doing this to this person? And then he said, and it was something negative too. That's the reason why I question it. And he said, oh yeah, it was I remember exactly what it was. I've accessed my subconscious briefly. So I mentioned to him, because he's aware of whatever's happening. He's aware of the world. There's majority of people are sleepwalking, are sleeping. They're not awakened yet. And it is true. Most people are sleepwalking. Most people are not aware. That's the most important thing in life. You have to become aware. If you don't become aware of something, you won't understand how to change it. So if you don't know that you are sleeping, if you're not aware that you are sleeping, then you can't become awakened. So I mentioned to him, he understood that this whole world is a simulation. We all are experiencing a virtual reality based on our programming, based on what we've decided to accomplish or experience. And I told him, you are awake, so why not just stay awake? He said, I'd rather just be asleep. It's the same thing that guy said in the Matrix. Bliss. What did he say? He mentioned. What did he say? He said, happiness is bliss, something along those lines. So he chose to go back to sleep in the Matrix. So having this conversation with this guy, I said, why not you living your life this way, since you are aware of this is a simulation? We're all just sleepwalk. Most people are just sleepwalking. Then he said, I'd rather just be asleep because it's better. It's easier on the mind. So it's interesting because everything is decision. Everything is a choice. So you have a choice to live a good life, a bad life, as people would call it. But like I mentioned, you will never hear me say you should live your life this way. I would say, not should, but I will always say you should. But I will never say you need to. It's a big difference, because I'm only going to share the information with you. I'm not going to force you to live your life based on how I see life, based on how I see things. But I'll say you should head that route. You should head to that path because it's better. So for me, I'm always on the side of life. So I respect every single life forms, from ants to bugs. The same way I respect a person, any human being, is the same respect I give to bugs, to give to any animal form. It doesn't matter how small, how big you are, because I see all of us as equal, because we all are one. So there's no separation. We're just different. We're just experiencing life differently. That's all it is. Different beings experiencing life differently. So the moment you intentionally decide to take someone's life, you forfeited your own life through karma. So it may not be in this life where you experience the loss of your life if you've taken someone else's life, maybe in next life. So that's why you shouldn't feel remorse. You shouldn't feel bad for anyone that is experiencing a negative life, because they've manifested that based on their karma. They've created that reality for themselves, and it's time for them to experience how it felt, how it felt for you to have made that person feel that way. It's going to be 10 times more intense than how you've made someone feel, how you've made someone experience life, right? So anytime you are seeing someone experience a negative life, then they've created that, they manifested it. It's karma. Same thing if you see someone experience a good life, positive life, they've manifested it, they've created it through law of karma. So karma exists, karma is real. It's always aware of what's happening. It always documents your actions, your acts, and it records them to replay it for you to experience the same thing you've caused. So now it's only a question is which path do you want to follow, which path do you want to experience. Obviously there will always be bad, there will always be good, there will always be negative, there will always be positive, there will always be dark, there will always be light. It's just this life we are experiencing, this duality. So we can't escape that. So it's only a choice where, like I said, I will never say you need to live your life this way, because nothing is good, nothing is bad. You will never hear me say this is good, this is bad. It's all an experience, but you have to be you have to understand that with each choices, with each act, there's repercussions, you have to take responsibility for those actions, because it may not be in the present time, it may not even be in this lifetime, but you will reap what you sow, guys. So that's why I say always continue to do good deed, good act, because you are building a lot of good karma, and your life only has to go the light way, the positive way, because it's just law of manifestation, law of attract, law of the universe. So now we're about to see, more people fall into confusion of this world because of what's happening. So people will not understand. So I guess this is where you could call them the light workers, or the persons that has been awakened way early to kind of help and assist in humanity's awakening. But now we're about to see a lot of negative events unfold because of the purge that is happening. So that's why it's key to raise your frequency, so you don't get caught in whatever is about to happen. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can't escape who you are. So if you are a negative person, then you will be swept away with the purge. You will be swept away with this flood of shift that is happening. So, and if you're a positive person, you have nothing to worry about. The universe will place you in the right place where you're protected. Nothing negative will happen to you or around you. So that's the most important thing, is frequencies. And I'll probably make another video on this, and I've made other videos how to raise your frequency. And most important thing, two most efficient and effective way to raise your frequency is, number one, is through food and sound. Sound is at the top of the list. So the more you listen to good music, you constantly raise your frequency without even trying. Same thing with eating proper food, eating healthy food, you raise your frequency as well without even you trying. So that's just the basics. And then you can do other things consciously to help elevate it to where you are only experiencing positive things. From my experience, I think that's the best way to live life, right? Be on the side of life, respect every life forms. So like I said, it's all about intention. If you decide to kill an ant intentionally, you still can forfeit your own life, but obviously you would need to constantly do it. Just killing one ant consciously is not going to forfeit your life, because obviously there's more value in a soul, right? So ants, bugs, they don't have souls. They are just spirits and energies, but the soul is the most important thing, because the soul is infinite. You will always exist. Death is just an illusion, guys. So you shouldn't fear death. You are only shedding this physical body as a snake shed its skin, but more deeply you are leaving this physical reality and you entering another dimension, which is the spirit world, the spirit realm, and you can come again back to re-experience this physical world through reincarnation, or you can choose a different life form, or experience a different dimension, or you can be another being, another alien. Obviously, I don't believe human can reincarnate as animals. It's just, well, there's only that possible scenario where if you build so much bad karma, you could. Like I said, anything is possible. So until the next time, I don't want to keep the video too long, guys. I'll probably make another video. The whole purpose of this video is that not to get lost in whatever's happening in this world, and stay grounded, and always try to choose the light path instead of the dark path, because it's always a choice. The dark path is not bad. The good path is not, like I said, you will never hear me say this is good, this is that. It's all an experience. You just have to be prepared for the repercussions. There's always cause and effect. You will have to always be ready for the effect to your actions, to your deeds, to the path you have followed. So you just have to be prepared for those. So until the next time, peace.